You're tuned into News Across the Galaxy, where they talk all things LA Galaxy with the Nag Boys. Let's start nagging.
Such jerks, but now I've come to love your corks.
Love that.
Willis with your eyes so bright, Tony with your head float right, Chewy with your spinning lies. That girl, you're a delightful fellow. Sorry about the salmonella.
Hey.
Who
Salmon.
needs a Who needs a Ricky start? Now
Oh.
here's the tricky part. Who to run with me? Who needs a Ricky start?
I do.
Who needs a Ricky start?
I do.
Los Unites ganaron y el Galaxy ganó. Y Ricky, we miss you, Ricky. Why miss you? Welcome to News Across the Galaxy, where we talk all things LA Galaxy. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brian Lobos, and per usual, the gentleman that has the midweek show on lockdown, Mr. Edgar Zuniga. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm all right, man. You know what, though? It was really, really hot out there. I can say I'm all right now because I'm nice and cool, but I went out to watch the USA game at a local bar, and when I came out, it was 103 degrees, and I was dying. But I'm okay now. I'm okay
Oh,
now.
you didn't die. That's
I
good.
didn't die. This is not a hologram.
And my other co-host rocking a beautiful bucket hat,
Yeah.
Mr. Eddie Campos. How are you doing tonight, sir?
That's Eddie Nags to you. That is Eddie Nags. I'm
Eddie
doing good, man. I mean, both of my teams shut out. Me and Edgar over here feeling pretty good about ourselves right now, right?
Yeah. And
Eddie
of
looks
course,
great in 30 frames, by the way.
I like
last
that
but
background.
last but not least, of course, at the Home Depot Center, aka the StubHub, aka Dignity Health Sparks Park, over there guarding the trophies. Mr. William Lobos, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great, doing well. It indeed was hotter than the devil's butt, but uh, we survived. It was pretty hot out here too, so took a quick dip in a pool and ended up getting super sweaty afterwards.
Ah, beautiful. And today is a special show because Eddie does have a special announcement. We will get to that later. And we also have a congratulations coming soon.
Yay.
First, let's talk some LA Galaxy community news. On July 6th, the Amor Eterno. Chewy, if you could bring that graphic up, please. The Amor Eterno photo gallery created by the LA Galaxy fans, for LA Galaxy fans. This will happen. Ooh, I should have actually looked at the graphic. But yes, this will happen July 6th.
It's July 6th. It says July 6th, man.
July 6th. The address is down there. It will be in
There you
Huntington Park.
go.
Oh, it's by my house. Yeah, so it'll be at Huntington Park from 4 to 9. It's open to all LA Galaxy fans. Of course, there will be some vendors at the Amor Eterno pop-up. Chewy, if you could put up that graphic as well, so I can read off the vendors. You have Abja, of course. Shout out to Abja. 1 2 Threads, per usual. MIS, Luis Vela Art, Code Red Punks, Antojitos La Cora, and FHUE USA. And music will be provided by Amor de Paris. Special donations by Absolution Brewery. Shout out to Absolution Brewery. So that's pretty cool. July 6th, that is the week after, on the weekend that after we play the Noisy Neighbors at the Rose Bowl. Yes.
Chivas game.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm actually looking forward to that. Well, but we'll get to that later. We'll shout out, on that same day, July 6th, G's Run LA will be having their first 5K race. If you could put that graphic up, Chewy, for us, please. Yes, and they will be starting from Absolution. The race starts at 9 a.m. in the morning. If it was me, I'd probably finish by noon because I hate running without the ball on my feet. So, yeah, so shout out to G's Runs LA. I know they've been doing this for a minute, and people enjoy doing this, and it's a great way to be part of the community. If you like running and not actually having a ball on your foot, then this is more your speed. Hopefully, you guys can make it out. This will be a very what is it? Just to have the community join together. All right. Next shout out. LA Galaxy's next squad. They took a 4-1 victory over Charlotte to become back-to-back champs in this tournament. What do you guys think about this NXT? This NXT.
NXT, hey.
NXT, wow.
Oh, we
I
love
like I
that.
like
We love
NXT.
that.
NXT is good,
Disputed,
man. I like
baby.
NXT.
What do you guys think about the MLS Next? These tournaments that they're having. We'll go with
Well,
you, Edgar.
Well, I mean, you guys know how I feel about MLS Next. I feel like there's no excuse for having a team in USL, but it's fine, I guess. It's not a solid substitution, but anything where the program is doing well enough that they can bring home trophies, hey, I'm all for it, man. They gotta excel in their group, so hopefully they add another one to the shelf right behind Willis.
Eddie, any thoughts on this back-to-back championship victory by the young G's?
I mean, first off, MLS Next is still better than AEW.
No, come on, come on.
Better than MLS AEW.
Yeah. I mean, it's dope. You know, I mean, we can't say we all pay too close attention to those youth teams, but I mean, if we can win them all, then fuck it, why not, right? And it's also sure it inspires the little kids, you know, to they hear, because especially we have another club we compete with here in the same town. So if there's a point in their young lives where they have to make the choice of whether they're going here or there, you know, they look at the scoreboard and it's like, oh, these guys are winners. I'd rather go here. And then every once in a great while, I mean, MLS is so young when it comes to developing players. It doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while, you get your Jalen Neals and players like that. So, I mean, it's cool. I'm happy that we won, and I just think in the long run, it's going to be it could be something that blooms into a bigger and better thing. You know, we're not the Barcelonas
Mhm.
and the fucking who develop Ajax develops a lot of players. You know, but who knows? And with putting our name on that scoreboard could make us one of the top destinations for young players too.
The
Yeah,
farm
we always
sister
hear.
Willis. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say we always hear about how great the FC Dallas Academy is. We always hear about how great
Mhm.
Philadelphia is at producing young players. Wouldn't it be great if we heard LA Galaxy in that same breath?
That'd
Yeah,
be amazing. And
if the
then
farm system could be productive here, Willis, farm
that'd
system,
be,
you like it?
yeah. I love it. I'm an advocate for developing the youth. We've seen, and there's so many examples of teams being able to bring those youngsters in, develop them, and then them being a part of their great success in their senior squad. And that's the formula to really transcend in the league. So anything that has to do with youngsters for me development, I'm all for it. Maybe the structure for it is a little bit wonky for now, but I mean anything for the youth, you know.
And speaking of youth, and speaking of children, we want to congrat our very own Mr. William
Whoop,
Lobos for
whoop.
becoming or is going to be a dad. Congratulations, sir. You are
Thank
Yeah,
you.
now on the road of parenthood. Edgar, what advice can you give him?
oh, man, buy a lot of diapers. If
Young
you have a
G coming
dog,
soon.
practice picking up a lot of poop. you're you're gonna have poop. You're gonna have poop in
I
your
got
lap
some
every
practice.
day now for
I
the
got some
next at least
practice.
3 years, man.
This is a new journey for you, Willis. I I love you, and I want to congratulate you for going through this journey.
Thank you.
And of course, is there anything that you have in mind that you would like to share with all of us right now? That maybe what's going on in your head right now? Like, oh shit, I'm gonna be a dad.
Exactly that. Those are my thoughts exactly. Plus, I'm just excited. Something that I've been wanting for a while, and now that it's happening, it feels pretty cool. And just
Hey Willis,
I'm ready to be not ready. So
hell yeah. Hey Willis, all these
what's up?
guys, no consideration. Congrats on the sex, bro.
No consider. I have proof now. I have proof.
Oh, you're not a virgin anymore. That's great. You did it, man. You did it.
Yeah, one.
Shoot or shoot, baby. Shoot or shoot.
Shoot or shoot.
All right. Well, all the Theos here at NAG, congratulate you, and we will for sure
Thank you.
spoil your child once it's here. All right. These last two games, we played a match on Wednesday against New York City FC, who is not a bad team. And of course, this weekend we played against the top of the West, Real Salt
hold
Lake.
on, hold on, hold
Yes.
on. Willis saw it too. Go ahead, Willis. You can read it. I think we saw it at the same time.
Go ahead, Willis.
Oh man.
Man, Sonberry just can't catch a break, bro. Since Willis gets more action off the field than Barry.
Oh, come on. Come on. All right.
That wasn't me, Barry. That wasn't me. Although we all thought it.
Hey, I'm the CEO of the member berries, bro. So it wasn't me.
You know what
Ooh, you
really makes
remember?
me laugh, man? That I was listening to that game. I wasn't watching it. So I was driving from the beach, back from the beach, but I was listening to it, and there was I think it was Max Bretos was on the course. I don't know,
Ooh.
and Brian Dunseth was
Whoa.
color commentator, and they were talking about like, oh, Miguel Berry this, Miguel Berry that, and then somebody referred to him as a super sub, and I almost like drove off the road, dude. I was laughing so hard. I mean, they call him a super sub.
Don't you dare.
All right, all
Don't you
right,
dare. He is a super sub, all right?
no.
He's Sanberry. Get that right.
Sonberry.
Hey, big
Sonberry.
up to Matthew, man.
Anyway, we did play New York City
Joaquin.
FC. We'll go with the quick lineup, and I know Edgar, you wanted to take the floor on this and take the lead on this, but I'm gonna give you guys the lineup, and then the floor is yours. At goal, John McCarthy. Outright, Mickey Yamane, the two center back pairings, Jalen Neal and Maya Yoshida. Out left, Julian Aude. In the middle, Edwin Cerrillo, Mark Delgado. Out left, Joseph Paintsville. Outright, Gabriel Peck. Your creative player, your number 10, the one that kind of looks like an actual 10, Diego Fagundes. And of course, up top, your leading scorer of the team, Dejan Jovelich. Edgar, the floor is yours.
Well, guys, first of all, we must address the elephant in the room.
Hey, I'm not that fat, folks.
They've done it, man. They've done the unthinkable. The LA
We're not there
Galaxy
yet.
finally won those 3
We're-
games under Greg Vanny. Can you guys believe it? Can you guys
We're not-
believe it?
Well, first, talk to us about NYC.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you got
You know,
NYC first.
gotta start
You're
somewhere, man.
stealing our thunder here.
You gotta start somewhere. Check it out. First of all, okay. So we all know we were here on Sunday talking about last Sunday we were talking about how they beat Sporting Kansas City, a team that has completely lost their way. I mean the wheels are coming off of that thing, and it doesn't matter because Peter Vermees is stuck in there like a deer tick. He's not going to let him go. He's going to suck the blood out of the franchise for as long as he can. Anyway, LA Galaxy played a solid 90 minutes to defeat New York City FC, which is one of the better teams in MLS. And they followed that up with this emphatic victory this past Saturday, as you guys all saw, against first place Real Salt Lake. Now, before losing to the LA Galaxy, the Pigeons, New York City FC, they had won 8 of the last 10 games. And before losing to the LA Galaxy, Real Salt Lake had gone 15 straight matches without a loss. However, after breaking that last streak, what's the one streak that we're all talking about? Valley's 3 in a row, baby. But anyway, back to the SKC match. As you guys saw in that second half, even with no Ricky Push, the team started to meld. They started to come together. We all saw it. There was a moment in that game where like everything started to click, and the ball started moving around more. and that continued in the game against New York City. Galaxy continued to look fluid. They looked dynamic on offense. They were spreading the ball around. Everybody was getting involved in the attack. Um, just to put it in a nutshell, Dayon had a fantastic match. He notched the goal. He had an assist. 5 minutes before the half, Dayon got an assist after Peck intercepted a terrible clearance pass by the Pigeons. He quickly dished the ball off to Dayon, who gave it back to Peck, who dribbled straight into the 18, passed back to Dayon, who just boop, tapped it in for the net. Then they doubled their lead in the 49th. Peck went streaking up the right flank. He left his defender in the dust. Then he cut back. That dude sent a no-look pass to Dayon, who ran into the 18 and then passed across the box to Fagundes, who was trailing, and he slammed the ball to the far post. Just overall, a beautiful team goal. You can see these guys are having a lot of fun. Um, one of my biggest things that I kept saying this entire season was, when is the LA Galaxy going to have a game where they play a full, solid performance from whistle to whistle? The closest it had come was against Vancouver, but I feel like against New York City, they finally did it. They finally had a game where everything that they were trying worked hard. I mean, even though they weren't perfect, at least the effort was there, the energy was there against a quality opponent, and they did it from whistle to whistle. Before we move on to the SKC match, do you guys have any comments, any thoughts about that? Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys think that it was also a solid performance from whistle to whistle?
Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Eddie.
mean, I think you're pretty spot on there. Uh, it's a quality team that we played against that was coming in hot. You know, they were on the upswing. They were confident, and you know, for the first time, and I'm not even talking about this season or in the last couple of years, it felt like that Galaxy team that played when it was a Home Depot and it was a fortress. You know, it felt like New York just was definitely out of their element. They were not at home, you know, and oh man, it was great. It was the most complete game we've had. Not even this year, I think in the last couple seasons, dude. From maybe we have had some, but against a good opponent, not you know from minute one to minute 90, it was. I mean, again, we're gonna get to awards, and you'll see when we talk about the Geo we're gonna start nitpicking because that's how great it was.
Yeah. Uh, Bryant?
I gotta agree with that being one of the most complete games this season, especially on a short week. We played against Kansas City.
Yes.
It wasn't a tough opponent by any stretch, but a 4-2 score doesn't mean that they didn't struggle. It came to Miguel Berry to kind of come in and solidify the win, right? Thank you, San Miguel Berry. And so against a team that's coming from the East Coast, uh, they're not a bad team. Without Ricky, which I know you Edgar and Eddie love this. Without Ricky, this team looked very fluid. And then on that goal that Fagundes scored, beautifully executed. And yeah, it will have to be nitpicked to whoever gets the Geo Award in this match. What about you, Willis? Against New York.
I agree with you. I agree with all of you that that New York game I think was the most complete game that they played. Uh, like Edgar said, it doesn't mean they were perfect, and that's something that I think is going to transpire as the season goes on, and maybe next year we'll see those type of games where we're just completely dominant throughout the whole game. But for now, I'm good with this Galaxy team playing the way they're playing right now. And that energy, like Edgar said, man, was there from minute one to minute 90. And that's what you love to see. You love to see them, Peck going on that one on one, trying to take that player on. Fagundes making those back runs, Dejan Joveljic, feeling himself, trying to make the assist, Peck with the no look pass. It was something special. And I love it. It was a great game, and everybody doubted us for that game, anyways, including
Yeah.
some of our professional analysts on this podium. But hey, we did it, and I love to see it. I love to see it.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
stay undefeated at home, which is a big
Hmm.
deal for the LA
Yes.
Galaxy. On a short week against a good team, you stay undefeated, and then you head on the road to play another tough team. But before we get there, do you guys want to do a combined award, or you guys want to do the awards for New York, and then we'll do the awards for RSL?
I think we
No,
should.
it's some
Yeah, let's
separate.
just go ahead and do the awards for New York real quick because I feel like it has to be said. For example, I'm trying to think, right? Because I was there, I saw the game, I talked to people afterwards, and I'm trying to think who the hell could I give a Geo to? And I was thinking there was nobody really because I felt like it was such a team effort. People were you could see everybody was trying to work hard and make things happen. I can't think of one. Can you guys maybe think of somebody?
I got it. Nitpicking again, and I remember this because it was kind of early on and happened a couple times when I think when we had like the 1-0 lead, and again it's nitpicking because obviously coming off a shutout, it's kind of weird to put it on a defender. But Yoshida had some miscues. He whiffed a couple balls. He had a couple turnovers that could have been costly, but this center mid that does their job didn't allow that to happen. Again, nitpicking, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Yoshida just because of those reasons. Other than that, it's pretty hard to pick on anybody because it was a great performance.
Guys think it's fair if I were to give it to Joseph Painso for that match, and it's probably not the first time I'm gonna give it to him. I think, spoiler alert, I'm gonna give it to him again against RSL. Maybe just because where he's coming off an injury, right? And then in that match against NYC, he came off like in the 65th or something around that. You knowing well that you have to play during the weekend. I didn't see the MVP Joseph Painso that we're kind of accustomed to seeing from now on. The injury is a big deal, but just because of that, he's still trying to get back in form. His game was off, which is the title of the award. And so this one and RSL, I'm gonna pick at it a little bit more. But in this particular match against NYC, I think his game was off. What about you, Willis?
No, the only reason I'll counter you, Brian, is because it was his first start, right? Coming back from
Yes,
injury.
it's coming back from
Yeah,
injury.
Mhm.
That's a bit harsh. I mean, in my
yeah.
opinion,
I was gonna
it's a
say the
hamstring.
same thing. This is, I mean,
Well,
this is
you're
the
nitpicking
position of
though.
nitpicking, though,
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
right?
nitpicking, yeah, true.
Willis.
Yeah. For me, it's a nitpick, like we said. A couple mistakes that could have actually led to some goals, but luckily the defense was on point and focused. Usually, this player doesn't make those type of mistakes, and he's a veteran in the midfield. So for me, the Geo award was going to go to Mark Delgado. He had a couple giveaways that were just not good, man. Not good, and then could have led to goals. But again, the defense was focused and ready to stop it. So I'm going to choose Delgado for that one.
Well, let's go for the honorable mention because I know the next is probably gonna. No, it's not gonna be hard. The honorable mention is probably gonna be hard. No, it's not gonna be hard either.
We go back and forth. Okay,
Edgar.
I give, yeah, my you got heart, man. I'm gonna give it to John, to J Mac McCarthy. He made some good stops, man. There were some because New York, like I said, they're not a bad team. They had their chances as well, and there were a couple of times where I was like, "Oh my god, these guys are gonna score!" And McCarthy came up with some clutch saves, um, which I mean, lo and behold, he got the clean sheet. And I remember afterwards, I was like, "Damn, I can't remember the last time we got a clean sheet." I think it was against Seattle, right? In that game that was in the rain. Was that a scoreless game? I can't remember. I
Yeah,
didn't
it
go to
was.
that game, so I can't remember. But I think it was a scoreless
No,
match, right?
away. Oh, Seattle away was 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Seattle away 0-0?
Yeah. Well,
So
we
yeah,
we beat Seattle here.
yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, and one of the things that I remember about those years when Home Depot Center, right, or the Dig was a fortress where teams feared to enter was how solid Galaxy was on defense. They didn't allow teams many opportunities, and they got a lot of clean sheets. But yeah, anyway, I give the floor to you guys. Who do you guys think
Eddie.
deserves a heart, man?
Uh, I'm just gonna pair them up, dude, because it's hard not to. Fuck. Nah, you know what? Nah, I won't pair them up. I'm gonna go honorable mention is gonna be Peck. Peck is just a fucking. Oh man, he's showing us why they paid so much for him, dude. Like at first, we were kind of like everyone had that question, right? We gave up, potential just TAM player, domestic player, and Boyd, and it's like this guy has to be a home run, right? The next guy that came in, and technically it's Peck that took his spot. And at first, we're kind of like, all right, give him time, give him time. When is it going to happen? And I feel like it went 0 to 60, like in the blink of an eye. You know, he like was like, we're like, fuck, dude, where is this guy that we we saw glimpses of in the preseason or in the beginning when he was first coming in, because he wasn't here in the beginning, but when he first coming in and getting his first couple minutes, and all of a sudden he's arrived. You know, so uh, fucking Peck, man, Peck is just impeccable, right?
Yeah.
This
Yep.
guy wins the You Got Heart, man. And I think Max Stanley would be a little difficult as well for me, but I'm gonna go with Peck for this one.
Willis, who you got as your honorable mention for this one?
Honorable mention. There were so many good candidates, honestly. The midfield played well, but I think I'm going to give it to Gabriel Peck because in this game, I think he kind of embodied that "You Got Heart, Man" award. He had heart, man. Uh, he was out there making the plays, gave the hockey assist for that first goal that Dayon had. Also had the hockey assist because he, basically missed the shot, and then Jovic cleaned up the shot. But he was just out there trying to get his goal, and it couldn't happen for him. But he kept going. He kept going. He had heart, and just kept going, and it was producing great things for everybody else. So
Yeah.
for me, it's gonna be Gabriel Peck.
And I'm on the same boat. It's another game with him having to be on the positive side, where he is in good form, where he is not afraid to take this player on one. Something that we've been asking of him to do because we've seen it on the highlights. And then these 3 games, in the 3 games that they've won, Peck has been very instrumental into what they've been doing, and actually being probably the key part of the success that the LA Galaxy is going through right now. There could be other factors that I know
There is
you,
another
Eddie, and
factor, Brian.
Edgar and Eddie are very proud to point those out. But
The
nonetheless,
proof is in the pudding, baby.
nonetheless, Gabriel Peck
Yeah.
is in terrific form right now, and yeah, he gets the honorable mention against NYC.
No,
You know how good
before we
Peck.
move on to the last one, I want to echo probably what Eddie's thinking. The same thing is, I mean, it's completely obvious. Let's just be honest. Like, without Ricky Puig dominating so much of possession, it looks like Gabriel Peck is running unfettered, and unfettered means he broke the shackles. He's able to he has a lot more freedom to move around the field, and it's not just us that notice this. You go back and you watch the broadcast against New York City. You go watch the broadcast against RSL, and the commentators are mentioning this as well. They're saying, "Wow, look, looks like Gabriel Peck, is running with a lot more freedom. He has a lot more freedom to roam, to create, um, because he's not beholden to do things a certain way. He's able to do what he's really good at, which is getting behind defenses on the streak, and then his teammates find him, as he's making those breaks. And this is something that for the longest time we were like, when is this gonna happen? When is he gonna literally turn the corner, right? Well, this is what it took. Oh, hey, look at that. Eddie was so excited we lost him. Uh, but
Give
yeah,
you
I
a
feel
Wi-Fi,
like
bro.
this is what it took. And some people were saying, damn, Edgar, why do you hate Ricky Puig? I don't hate Ricky Puig. I just want
Lies,
him to be
lies.
an important part of this offense. And I want him to be. He's so talented. Obviously, he can do things on his own. But if he was able to be a part of this, like a cog in this machine, how much better could the team be? But anyway, uh, digress too much. Let's move on to the next award. Next standing. Um, you want to go first? Or you want me to go
Let's
first?
just say it. It's Dejan Jovilic.
Dejan.
Dejan
Yeah.
Jovilic.
Facts,
I think
facts,
he's been on fire as well. Could it be?
facts.
I'm not sure what it is with him. I know that he's had his confidence back, and he started off great in the year. But there was maybe 4 games ago, 5 games ago, where he was in a little slump. Of course, he was injured, so we had to put in another forward instead of him. But yeah, Dejan Jovilic has been not only scoring, he's been assisting. He's had
Elite.
tallies. He has what, 10 goals, 5 assists, 6 assists. Um,
Yeah,
Magnificent. You can't really ask for more. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that want another forward in the summer to start over Jovilic, but you're gonna bench a guy, and it's a conversation for later. But you're gonna bench a guy who's playing this well, and a team that's winning. And yeah, are you agree with the next signing player, Eddie, for the NYSC? Dejan
Dion.
I don't know
Joveljic.
who it is. I just came back.
Oh,
We all say
Dia?
we all say the
He
annual
went.
league. Yeah.
He went to
Yeah,
go take his
yeah,
victory
definitely.
lap after that
Yeah,
Ricky
definitely.
comment.
You know, I was stuck on two, right? And I'll give it Dayon, but Fagundes obviously still deserves that shout out, right?
yeah.
Guy
Yeah.
is showing how it's supposed to be done. And I want Brian to say, I don't know if he said it when I want him to say, I don't know. I see in the comments that Ricky's supposedly behind him holding a gun at him.
It's not a gun he's holding up to.
Don't
Nobody
worry.
took
If
his
we
gun.
see, if we know anything, he's gonna force that shot. And he's gonna miss you, Brian. He's gonna hit the wall.
Or he's gonna
Uh,
take too long to shoot.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. No, but another thing that I want to point out too, and we'll talk about it again once we get to the New York game, is the way Dayon's game has changed as well. Where he's receiving the ball is also different, right? I and all of us, or I'm assuming all of us, saw Ricky just sorry, not Ricky, Dayon just be like a poacher, right? Playing as like a poacher, like when Ricky's in there, because it feels like because of the way he plays. I guess he ends up he's holding it so long that he finds himself in a position just where, well, I guess I'm just going to tap it in. But you saw it in the previous game, and then you saw it in the New York game where he makes that run and where he receives the ball, and we forget, and I forgot how capable he is of playing playing a ball too. He's not just a finisher.
Mhm.
Remember when the guy came on against Austin a couple years back, did a bicycle kick to get an assist. The guy has that in his book of tricks as well, right? And he's finding himself in this particular play. He fights Fagundes, but he's finding a lot of 1-2s with Peck as well. Peck had a lot of chances. If it wasn't for some good goalkeeping, it would have been a lot worse than 2-0. But a lot of those came from quick 1-2s with between Dayon and Peck, and it's something that you don't see. But now you're seeing it, right? And Peck, Dayon is showing this other side of his game that we completely forgot about, and his stats should have even been better against New York. He should have had a couple assists along with that going assist. So yeah, Dayon definitely, and still needs a little confidence, because we could talk about that a little later, because it hasn't showed the finishing confidence yet on the finishing side. On the finishing side, right? But I think it's coming. I think it's coming, boys.
Don't worry, the dragons are
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, the strange thing of the one thing that's still kind of off about Dayon is that he's not celebrating his goals with the same gusto that he was a couple of years ago. Look at that. He took off, man. He took off. But yeah, he's not doing his little pistolero. He's not screaming like he was. It's a more tempered. I don't know if it's more mature Dayon, but it just seems like he's more like, all right, I'm gonna keep it chill. I'm gonna keep my poker face. Smile a little, but he's not. He doesn't have that same fire. Maybe we'll see that in the next couple matches against San Jose and against LAFC. So we'll see.
Well, I think it's him just being more on business. It's kind of on that Kobe like job ain't finished, job ain't done.
Mhm.
I think that's where he's on his revenge tour, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna show everybody who I am," and he's not done yet.
It's
I
more of
think
a
that's what it
focus,
is
Dayon than
because you clearly see that he has that chemistry with Peck, and you clearly see that with the rest of his teammates. They all celebrate with him. They know what he's capable of, and I
Yeah.
don't think it's a lack of confidence. It's just his focus is somewhere else right now, where it's not celebrating and doing this little dance or whatever.
Well,
His focus is in getting those W's and putting the ball in the back of the net.
another thing that must be said too is that I heard from just scuttlebutt. I heard that he was upset that he was not even given an opportunity to try to make the roster that's at the Euros for Serbia. So maybe that's
That
something
could have
really.
that
been
I don't
something too.
understand.
Yeah.
So it's something that he can work towards, so that way when World Cup qualifiers come back around,
Mm.
Dayon will be one of those names that will be discussed about maybe possibly being on those rosters. And who knows, maybe a couple years from now, we're going to see him playing for Serbia in the World Cup.
That'd be
But
beautiful.
yeah, that's,
That'd be
that's
beautiful.
still a couple years down the road.
Yeah.
Um, let's move on to the next game, though, because this is the
Yes.
one this is a really big game. We're talking. I've been
Yup.
telling this. I've been saying this all along. A lot of people will say, you'll hear other people in other podcasts and others say that you can't say that this is a must-win game, right? because every game is a must win, whether it's at the beginning of the season or at the end. You have to try to win every time. You don't go into a game thinking, okay, I'm going to get a draw in this one, or it's okay if we lose this one. No, you
Let's
try
lose
to
this game.
win every
Yeah.
damn game, right? So, what I say is not a must-win game. I say this is a test, right? Because there's times when Galaxy will play against teams that are obviously a lot weaker, like Kansas City, San Jose, for example, or even Seattle, who's having a terrible season. And it's not necessarily a test. It's more of a, can you guys do what you're expected to do and defeat these bad teams? And Galaxy, for some reason, they make it hard on themselves, right? Against these weaker teams. We saw it against San Jose. We saw it against Kansas City. Even though the score says 4-2, it was 3-2 for a while. And for a while, we're like, ooh, what if these guys, tie the game at the end there? But no, ended up 4-2. But anyway, um, this next game against Real Salt Lake, big test, right? Everybody's talking like this is the biggest matchup of the weekend. It's a first versus third. Um, Everybody was looking forward to this match. Before the match, during the midweek, I was talking to our good friend Alex Napoles from the RSL show and KSL,
Shout out.
and yeah, good guy, man. When we were talking about it, he was just telling us how when they had recorded their own preview, they were talking about what a great player Ricky Puig is, and how they're really not looking forward to playing against him. And at that point, we weren't 100% sure if Puig was going to be playing, but all signs pointed to no, I don't think he is. And I told him, I was like, you know, as much as we want to talk about how great Ricky Puig is for the Galaxy offense, they have done such a great job making up for him, or that what we're seeing now is probably Greg Vanny Ball is supposed to be. And I told him it's not necessarily that we don't like having Ricky Puig in there. Is that the fact that LA Galaxy has something else to fall on, or something that's probably at the base of everything, and this is really good. Now Galaxy has two looks to throw at opponents. They can come at you without Ricky Puig, and then maybe throw him in there in the second half and completely change everything, and opponents will have no idea what to expect. So that's a huge thing for us. So a lot of people saying like, "Oh, you guys hate on Ricky," or you and Eddie. I just think it's just great. It shows that they can win with or without him, and it gives
Yeah.
Banny an opportunity to do more than one thing with the offense.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the game itself, right? Because
Well.
I know that.
Let's get into the lineup first, and
Yeah.
then we'll
Lineup.
talk about the
Sorry,
game.
go ahead.
Let me give you guys the lineup. Of course, J Mac in the back. Your center back pairing for this match was Maya Yoshida and Martin Cáceres. Out right, Miki Yamane. Out left with a not a surprise start, just because it was a short week. Uh, Johnny Nelson, left back that we acquired from St. Louis, started out left back. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Oh, hey, Eddie, you're back. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Your center mids for this match was Edwin Cerrillo and Tucker Lapley.
Lepley.
Lepley. Lepley? Lepley. Lepley. Tucker Lepley. Out left, Joseph Paintsel. Out right, Gabriel Peck. Your cam for this match was Diego Fagundes. And of course, your leading scorer for the LA Galaxy, Dejan Jovelich as your number 9. Edgar, go ahead. You have the floor.
Oh yeah. So like I said, big heavyweight match. Just had that big heavyweight match feel to it, right? It's a classic MLS match, first versus third. A lot of traveling supporters. You guys, if you haven't seen it, there's a lot of footage out there. A lot of people traveled out to RSL. It's not as far as as far as people think. It's actually,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If you drive out there, it's like
well, if you
30
drive out
million
there,
hours.
30 million hours, right?
Last,
But
last I
I mean,
recall.
a flight is not that long, right? It's a pretty short flight out to Salt Lake City. Um, but anyway, let's get into the match. These two guys are going at it. Unfortunately, the beginning of the match was marred by a really horrible thing.
Yes, at the
Just
15 minute.
16
Yeah.
minutes into the game, Chicho Arongo and Martin Cáceres were chasing after a ball that was just bouncing around in the box. They had a horrible collision. If you haven't seen it, this is scary.
Yeah.
They both head to head. They were lying on the ground for a really long time. You could see in the slow motion replay that Chicho's face immediately just covered in blood. Martin Cáceres had blood on his uniform, and this is before they even like like really zoomed in on them. Um, Immediately, people, personnel from both teams going to go check on them. Uh, they got Chicho Arango up fast. I mean, after a while, they put a towel on his head as he was leaving the field. Chris Armas went to go look at him, and he was just like,
Like,
"Ugh."
ooh,
Like, "Ugh."
ooh, brother, ooh,
Yeah, pretty
ooh,
much.
brother, ooh.
And then Martin Cáceres, they put like a big ass bandage on him, and
Yeah,
I think they were trying to see if he could continue. They were doing the concussion protocol, because he's a tough dude, right? He wants to stay in there, but in the end, I think they made the right decision. They took him out as well. Obviously, Jalen Neal was able to come in there. How lucky are we to have someone like Jalen Neal to come in, right? In case you
lovely
need him.
dude.
You know what?
But no, I was gonna say the sad irony about this though is that the Apple commentating crew, right, which I said was who was it? Those guys, Chris Dunseth and Bretos. They were talking about how great Chicho has been for RSL. They're like, oh, his 16 league leading goals and how vital he is to their offense. And literally, like 10 seconds later, the guy's lying on the ground. And he needs like, from what I heard, I think it's like 17 stitches. Ouch.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
rough.
So
You know what? You know what that gives me vibes of? You remember
mm.
that Hans Bula video where they're giving them instructions, and
Oh,
then they dab him, they dab him at the end. That's what they told Casa.
Oh man.
Shout out Hasbullah. He loves the Nag boys.
Hasbullah for prayers,
So
baby.
but yeah, this was one of those matches where the first one to blink was gonna lose. That's just pretty much it. That's the only way to describe this match. They were both going at it. A lot they had opportunities, a lot of possessions, opportunities. Both John McCarthy and Zach McNabb were making great saves. They're making stops. The defenses were working their asses off to try to prevent anything. But in the second half, finally, at the 74th minute, Galaxy broke that scoreless deadlock. Edwin Cerrillo, who had a fantastic game, passed to Dayon, who immediately just connected with Beck, who was streaking. Peck split two defenders. He ran to the top of the 18, and one thing that you guys have noticed, he loves this. He fired a low hard shot to the near post. The ball got past Zach McMath, who I think got his hand on it, but it wasn't enough. And that was it. That was the goal.
Yeah,
And after that, Galaxy did just well enough to keep RSL from scoring. Like I said, they really missed Chicho, and you could tell that it was like a shock to their system. It was like a gut punch, and they were not able to recover. Uh, and also, one thing that needs to be said that was probably in the back of the minds of the RSL players is that they have so many injuries right now, and they even have players that are out of international duty. They ran out of center backs. You remember when we were running out of center backs? Well,
yeah,
they ran out of center backs.
Yeah,
And no center backs. They had two wing backs and midfielders playing center back, and so
they
that's
still
just
managed. They still managed because
yeah.
they were playing pretty well.
But I think at that point, they're all playing defense by committee. They're all coming in and trying
Hmm.
their best to prevent anything from getting out of control. But yeah, you don't have two dedicated center backs. That's gonna affect you at some point. You're gonna have to commit resources that obviously would be better suited to helping you push the ball up the field instead of having to come down and try to prevent something. But yeah, RSL. Um, and even Alex said it, like 15 game unbeaten streak. How long can anybody keep that up? It probably, won't happen for very long. And I said, this is going to happen in this game. We're going to win. And he was like, I don't think so. But I
Is
was like,
is
it's
this
going to
the is this the first time we break somebody else's streak? It's
happen.
been a while. It's been a while since we've broken a streak like that before.
Well, I mean, there was the streak. Okay. And this is something I'm going to bring up because somebody posted this online. Syndicate Lads on Instagram, and I have it
shout
right
out.
here because I kept the screen cap. Syndicate Lads posted Vanny in 2024 so far. He beat Brian Schmetzer.
Yep.
Check. He beat Peter Vermees. He had never beat Peter
Mhm.
Vermees before.
Yep.
Beat him
Wise
twice now,
decision.
Twice.
and he won his 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
So check, check, check.
So the
Man.
cherry on top is break the streak for RSL.
Break the streak for RSL. And these guys, they knew coming into this game that both LA teams were breathing down their necks,
Mhm.
and the unthinkable happened to them. Their best player got hurt. Hopefully, he's not out for too long. I know you guys are like, Edgar, why would you hope that he's not hurt? I mean, he's one of the reasons people watch MLS, right? We love
Yeah.
our league, and I want to see. I want to make sure that the players are healthy, and that when we beat the best, it's because what is it, Eddie? To be the best,
You have to beat the best.
you got to beat the best.
Yeah.
So I want the Galaxy to beat the best. But once again, guys, as as much as we want to celebrate the fact that they won, once again, the LA Galaxy benefit from having a key player on the other team get hurt. It happened against Vancouver. It happened against St. Louis. It's happened over and over this entire season. But them's the breaks, right?
Yeah. In football, you always got to have a little bit of luck. And the other Galaxy, I've had a lot of luck this
but
season. A lot of luck this season not being able to play the best players. Because I'll tell you this, it was a sloppy game. Let's keep it real. It was a horrible game to watch.
Yeah.
If
RSL was attacking.
Chicho Arango was in there, we get smacked because that team
Yeah.
was on our ass the whole match. They missed a lot. It was because they didn't have their best player, and so we took advantage, got one in there. Could have been two. Painto did miss one-on-one that he should have
Yeah.
finished, and I mean, you guys heard the spoiler earlier. So yeah, I'm not sure if I should be. I mean, of course, I want to see the LA Galaxy win and get 3 points no matter what, because whether
Even without Ricky?
if it's an inch or a mile, the win's a win. Well, I'll tell you this: in this match, Ricky was desperately needed.
Oh,
In this match, he was desperately needed.
Here we go.
Whoa.
What he could
Somebody
do,
asked earlier.
What he could do.
Q in Eddie. Q
Let's-
in Eddie.
what he could do,
quick.
dribbling the
Somebody-
ball in his pace, I think that would have opened up a little bit more for the LA Galaxy offense. They had us
Somebody earlier
locked
asked,
down.
has Bryant beat the dead horse yet?
Hold on.
Still beating it.
Edgar,
Beating it
Edgar,
up.
Just beat it.
let me ask you a question. Edgar,
Sir,
or maybe Willis too. I'm going to skip ahead real quick. Who was your man of the match?
man of the
Oh,
match?
man. No,
Edwin
wait. I'm going to
Cerrillo.
wait.
Huh?
You know,
Evan Cerrillo. Next standing, Evan Cerrillo.
Okay. Who won us the game?
Gabriel Peck.
It was Gabriel Peck.
Who was the most dangerous person on the field?
Gabriel Peck.
Gabriel Peck.
With no telling if he gets those same balls if Ricky's on the field.
But we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. At this
No.
point, we wouldn't know.
I-
He's already.
I guess we'll never know.
I do.
He's
I'll
watching.
tell you
I've
later.
been,
He's watching his team perform at a certain level, and he's seeing the open spots that Fagundes is able to get these players. You think he's not going to try to accommodate to what he's doing? He's a
Exactly.
skilled player, and probably the most skilled player on his team in that center midfield. You're going to tell me he's not be able to see those spots now that he has a team playing a certain way? I know Fagundes is great, and I've actually mentioned this early in the season that I would have loved to see Fagundes and Ricky Puig at the same time because I think that would work. But since that's not going to happen because we have Coach Greg Vanny, we have Fagundes. Now, if Ricky was healthy to be in there, I think he would have found the spots, and I think we would have been more dangerous.
Okay,
let me
let me-
hold on. Let me be clear. Let me be clear
Go
because
for
this
it.
is something that Edgar's going to say too. We're not saying Ricky's a bad player. Ricky is talented. He is more gifted than
I already said
Fagundes
that when he was
is.
out.
Fagundes. Oh,
yeah.
whatever. Well, I'm echoing it. I'm echoing it either way. So, but the thing is, like, we don't know if he's going to buy in, right? This is not anything new. This isn't something. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional coach, but I've called it. I've said it. Edgar said it, and it's proven, right? Does he buy in? I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I don't know that though. I don't know that he can. If he does though, that makes us more dangerous because, like I said, he is more gifted than Fagundes is. But you can't either. You can't sit here and tell me he's definitely going to do it. He's definitely going to change the way he's played his
It's a
whole
different
life.
product. It's a different product right now. It's a different product out there in the field right now. I understand that, and my rebuttal to that is it's Vanny. Why? Hold on. Let me tell you why. these last is the last 3 games that he's been out.
Yes.
What did Vanny do tactically that changed? He played with a double pivot. He's played with Delgado and Cedillo as a double pivot, and Fagundes alone on the top. Where Ricky Puig has been in the field, he's played with only one pivot, and that's been Brugman. So that changes the dynamic and the spacing a lot. Now that you've seen the spacing the way it is with a double pivot and the one cam, you see more space for Peck and for Painso to work. Now is he gonna do that when Puig comes back? That's a whole different story. So that's my kind of rebuttal to what you're saying
No,
that it's a
and I get that.
different team.
I get that because I also backed up. If you guys remember, when we're talking about the Marco Royce rumors, that we didn't mind Brugman getting traded, right? I think we all agree because of what Cedillo gives you. It's a different,
Well, not
it's a
me. I
different
don't
game
agree.
with Cedillo. Oh, whatever. Be on more often. Pay your Wi-Fi. So you know,
I'm wired, bro.
it's
I'm wired in.
Cedillo gives you something different, right? Like I think we talked about like you lose some and you get something with Cedillo and with
Yeah.
Brugman, but I feel like Cedillo's now is like okay, he's kind of the obvious choice from my
His
opinion.
stock is
So I
rising.
think his stock is rising, right? Because we all remember when the trade happened with Dallas. Dallas fans are like, "What the fuck? Why?" So that's definitely a thing. But again, Ricky still has to buy in. I agree with what you were saying with this, but it doesn't change the fact that he has to buy into it as well.
Oh, of course.
So
Because if he
we'll
doesn't,
see.
then
None of
we're
us,
fine.
yeah, none of us can
Um,
say. None of us here can say that he did. Like I said, I mean, I wasn't on. My shit froze when Edgar mentioned it, but
Should have
Ricky is
wired in.
absolutely he's absolutely more talented than Fagundes. And if he couldn't buy into to the Vanny ball that it looks nice right now,
Yeah.
then we're talking about a more dangerous team.
Yeah, and it's actually
Yeah.
by
good
the
that we
way,
have an actual 10 with
but
Fagundes.
but by the way, I want to repeat. I want to reiterate what I said when about our friend Alex Napoles, the guy he covers RSL. He said that RSL was preparing to face Ricky Puig, right? So they were prepared for him, and what they got was a completely different look at a completely different Galaxy offense, and they were not ready for that. So that worked to our advantage. What I really would have wanted to see and is, like I said, hit him with that, with that offense, the new offense in the first half, and then bring Ricky Puig in sometime in the second half, just to just to like really mess with them, so that they're finally starting to get adjusted to seeing the Galaxy come at them in a different way, and then you're like, okay, well, we got Ricky, go in there, Ricky, and just do your shit, right? Just run circles or whatever. And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my God, he's on the field. Well, what do we do?" Ah. And so,
Was
um,
he available? Was he available on the
I don't think
bench?
so.
no,
No.
he was not. He
Uh,
was not, which is fine. This is why I said, a lot of people are like, who are saying like, "Man, you said that with irony, Edgar. Like, get well soon, Ricky." I'm like, no, I'm serious. Get well soon. Don't rush injuries back. What's the one thing we were saying last year,
yeah.
Brian?
Yeah.
Don't rush these guys back, because then they get an injury that lasts a lot longer, and then it really affects you, because at that point they're not available at all.
Yeah.
So that's
100%.
fine. That's fine. If he's not available, that's fine. We've seen that. Like I said, we can win without him. And when he comes back, God, I hope he can buy into the system, because they could be so much better. Um,
Ooh, that's a
That's
good question.
actually a great question. Let me read that one off.
That's a great question.
From Comets 96, shout out to Matthew. Think Vanny sits Pooj if he doesn't get with the program? Yes, Eddie.
Uh, I think no. I think Vanny has to like sit, push down, and be like, "Hey, this is look. It's the proof is right there. Trust in my system." Kind of like we are starting to, right?
Huh.
And you
Barely.
just can't let you just can't let Ricky run the show,
Yeah.
right? I think you obviously, like I said, he's more talented. You start him. You're paying him more money, so you start him, and you start pulling him if he starts not fucking buying in and not listening. We're back at him receiving the ball inside our own 6 yard box and shit, and
Yeah.
try to play it from there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a
I
bad.
think
Dude.
there
He
has to
can't
be
be
that
doing that
way.
no more. You gotta
By
be
the
putting
way,
that on.
guys, I just want to repeat something that I have heard a lot during the midweek shows. If anybody here is watching us right now, if you haven't seen the midweek show where I talk to people from other podcasts, please check them out
Yes, we
because you
encourage
start to
everybody.
hear what other people have to say. It's one
Yep.
thing for us to tell you about the LA Galaxy because you watch the LA Galaxy. But when you get an outsider's point of view, it gives you a different perspective on how people view our team and our players. One thing I keep hearing a lot is, damn, that Ricky Pooch is so amazing. We heard it from Charlotte. We heard it from the guy from St. Louis. We heard it from our buddies in Colorado. We heard it from Austin. And we definitely heard it from Chris Polanco from the Cooligans. We heard it from Alex, right, RSL. And I can't remember who it was. It might have been Chris or it might have been Alex. But one of them said, after Leo Messi, I think he is the most talented player in MLS. And I was like, what? Are you serious? Is that how
He's
people
up
see
you
there.
him? And
you
I'm
know whose
thinking,
fault
and I
you know whose
keep
fault
telling
it
them,
is,
I was like,
Edgar?
you guys, what you guys see is the hype video where like you have all his best highlights packed together into like 5 minutes. And of course he looks fantastic. But when you sit there and watch like the whole game and you start to like poke holes, in his game, and that's us nitpicking. That's just us being Galaxy fans because
Yeah.
we have
Yeah,
seen some of the best players come through this team, um, and we have seen them perform. And so we have that luxury to nitpick and to say, oh, he can improve here or he can improve there. I don't like this aspect of his game, but eventually you are going to see him improve. We have a
yeah,
super chat. Eddie, you want to get that one?
sure. Adam, $5. Shout out to Adam for the super chat. As a Galaxy fan, there's other players besides Arango and Arcel, such as Anderson, Julio, and Gomez, Diego
Yup.
Luna.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
Yep.
Well, they
Anderson
did miss.
Julio, dude.
They missed up top. The
Yeah.
substitute that came in for
Anderson Julio, though,
Arango,
man.
he
Sheesh.
missed up top. Yeah, Anderson
and
Julio's the beast.
and
That guy was
but
something.
and like I was about to say, you know whose partly fault that is, Edgar? And I mean, it's a joke and it's not a joke at the same time. It's kind of Apple's fault, right? Because that was like one of my favorite things I used to love doing on the weekend is there'd be like a 12 o'clock game, then there's a 2:30, then there's a 4:30, then there's a
Mm.
6:30, then there's a 7:30, and so
You
on.
get to watch all the games.
And
Yeah.
yeah, but now Apple's like, let's put them on at the same time. Oh fuck, so
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people think the same. It's like once you know the
Also,
score, you
let's
see.
not show one of the teams that we don't like, and let's pretend it's been technical difficulties.
No,
Yeah,
you're absolutely correct. I was listening to a Colorado Rapids Twitter space just last night, and our good friend Matt Pollard, he's there for holding the high line. For he covers the Rapids. They were talking about a lot of different things, and one of the things that they were talking about is like how unfortunate it is that the MLS games their start times aren't staggered because
yeah,
everybody comes on at once and it's difficult to have like all these different screens on, where in the past you could do ESPN or
Hmm.
you could do whatever other streaming service you had, and you could have like 4 5 6 screens on all at the same time in the same app or the same program, and you're like, yeah, I'm watching all these different games.
yeah.
A game ends and there's another game coming on and then maybe another game coming on because of different time zones, and you're like, hell yeah, I have my whole day laid out if you have the
Yeah.
time, obviously.
And,
And now we don't get that. We just get
yeah,
like East and West, and that's it.
and it sucks because like we miss out like on like seeing teams develop, right? So
Mhm.
an example, you're not going to tune in if there's a bunch of games at the same time. Like who are the bottom teams? You're not going to tune in to
Chicago.
fucking Chicago versus San Jose, right? Like in the
Oh
past,
fuck!
Come on.
when the past, when you're watching games, like when like team I remember watching, I'm sure you guys did too. Because there was no other games to watch, like Philly would be playing, and then we got to see like Philly like all of
Yeah.
a sudden make a name for themselves. But that doesn't really happen for us anymore because like I'm not gonna pick to watch this game. I'm gonna watch this marquee match instead because they're all at the same time. So we miss out on that too. So
Yeah.
Apple, if you need a marketing guy or somebody to help you,
Understand
sorry,
soccer?
I won't take your
Another
call. Samsung only.
another I know we're kind of going off topic here, but another
Yeah.
real quick, another thing that really bugs me, something that grinds my gears, Eddie, is that when you see the MLS highlight packages, the fucking
Yeah.
screenshot ruins the result, right? You see whatever
Oh
team
yeah.
Yeah.
won or
Oh
whatever, and
man,
you're like,
I hate
and
that.
I'm like,
I hate
damn
it.
it. They did it for a while and then they stopped and I was like, all right, cool. They got the idea and then they came back and started doing it. And I'm like,
Or even to watch the fucking game. If you want to watch a game that you don't know the score of, it's like right there. You're like, you
You
can't
gotta, you
avoid it. It's
gotta,
like
you gotta go to the settings. Go to the settings and put the
yeah.
score on.
But just real quick, guys, let's get to the awards because, or if you guys have anything else to say about this game,
Well,
let's,
actually, not about the game,
Shout out.
but Adam did ask if you wanted to know if we're gonna have a midweek preview for the San Jose. We'll stay tuned for that. We'll see.
yes. I'll answer that question later, but yes.
Okay. About this game, besides it being boring and Gabriel Peck giving us 3 points, I'll take him. And I know Greg Vanny's gonna take him, so we're good. Actually,
Oh, definitely.
did mention this during the match with Eddie about how important a signing like Marco Royce would have been in this particular game, especially because we didn't have any depth in a center mid and nothing seemed to be working on the offensive side. Yeah, I'm not sure if Royce in particular, but just somebody coming off the bench with kind of like Fagundes' skill and above would be nice. We're still on the transfer window in this summer. We're in the summer, so we'll see what happens. So let's
I
get to
think
these.
right now. I think right now a player like Royce is the right choice because he can play in either position, right? And we're pretty thin on the wings right now too. So
Yeah.
I think a just like Royce player, if more particular, Royce would be a great signing right now.
Yeah.
Venite, venite.
By the way, guys, I just want to point out real quick because it's making me laugh. You guys watch Eddie's Eddie's feed reminds me of like the early 2000s and 56K. I'm just saying. He's got the 15 frames per second there, and we thought it was awesome. We're like, yeah, this is high technology right here.
Tyler, baby.
Pay you net zero, bro.
Hey, yo.
Um, anyway, let's get to the
Let's get
awards
to the
before.
awards. Let's start with the game is off on this match. Besides everybody, whose game was off?
Well, I'll say the obvious, and at the same time, this comes with a proviso that doesn't mean that I think he's doing bad. I just think that he's still recovering, and that's Joseph Paintsil.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's not his fault. He's like we said, he came off an injury. He's probably at limited minutes, and then he played. He played against Kansas City. He played against New York, and then you take this poor guy and you take him up into altitude. A lot of people forget. Excuse me. A lot of people forget, right? When we think of high altitude, we think of Denver, right? Right. Salt Lake City's up there. It's even higher than Denver, by the way. And so running around, it will affect you. And so Joseph Paintil is probably like, hey, take it easy with me, right? And he wants to be out there and he wants to play hard and he wants to give his best for the team. But if they want to make sure that he doesn't get back and get hurt, of course they have to limit his minutes. Like I said, 3 games in a week. That's a lot to ask for somebody, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's my Geo, and not because I don't think he did horrible. It's just that I think that he's not playing at the top of his level. His game is off for now.
And we got
For now.
another super chat from Edward
Edward,
Aguillon.
man.
Edward Aguillon. $1.99. Anyone going to the pop-up on the 6th? I won't be here. I will be camping and hunting bears.
Huntington Park, what the?
You going on a bear hunt?
Yes. And are you guys going to be participating?
Maybe.
No, yeah.
It's a 50
For me,
50 for me.
to be honest, it's kind of just like, what am I doing that day kind of deal.
Is Ricky gonna be there?
Is Ricky going to be there?
Miguel Berry's gonna be there just for you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Heyo.
I'm going to show up then.
I'm there then.
San
So-
Miguel.
All right. So Edgar has Joseph Paintsil as his game is solved. So did I. I did that spoiler earlier. I think just because of everything that Edgar said. Of course, one-on-one against a goalie, I thought he would have made that. But it could have been a combination of tired legs, short week, limited minutes. He's not fully healthy. So, yeah. I mean, everybody deserved it, to be honest, except for Gabriel Peck. But, and my honorable mention. But aside from that, I don't think there was anybody that was that good.
Yeah.
Edgar.
Yeah.
Edgar.
Yeah.
Edgar Eddie Nags.
Damn, Liberty.
Yeah, not just. I just echo what you guys said. Yeah, it's paint sale. You know, you talk about that one on one, and this is a game like give a playoff setting or something that might be your only chance. And we've all been here calling paint sale the best player on our team at some point, right? And you want him to make these big moments for you. So game is off. You know, hopefully it doesn't happen too many times again. We'll cut him a little slack because it's he's coming back from that injury and it is tired legs. So, but anyways, for now, sorry, Joseph. Just love you, man.
For sure. Um, for me, it's gonna be somebody who I honestly, personally, don't like because I don't think he's that great. And I think this last couple
Jeez.
games, he's kind of shown that the ball dies when he gets the ball, man. The play dies every time, and that's gonna be J Mac every time, bro.
Whoa.
Every time. He's given out so many
No,
bad passes, dude. So many bad passes, and I know he had one save but it's just not for me. I can't get over the fact that he played for the other team. I won't get
Ah,
over
Yeah.
that fact until he wins the championship. And
no,
he's not that much better than Bond was. So for me,
no, he's
especially
better
in
than
this game,
Bond.
he's I said not that much better.
No, he's better than Bond.
No, he's not. No, because dude, he gives the ball away so much. When they pass back to him,
Well,
he kills the
Bond
plays,
was
man.
not a good goalkeeper.
He was
Period.
way better than him distributing the ball. I'll tell you that much.
And this guy is better. But yeah, his
No,
distribution is to be questioned.
it's well. That's the thing. For me, I feel like that's at some point going to bite them in the ass,
It
and
has.
I feel that that's at some point if they're really going to make that championship run, that has to be addressed. And I know it's probably not his worst game, but for me, I'm kind of nitpicking, and I didn't want to give it a paint sale, so I'm going to say J Mac for the bad distribution that he had that game.
You're thick.
Yeah, I don't like him. I'm just putting it out there.
Cool. That's fair. Yeah. Rapid fire honorable mentions.
it's J Mac
I'll say
because of the save.
Take
Damn.
that.
Yeah.
kept us at donuts, kept us on the clean sheet, and gave Vanny his third win in a row. Yeah, it has to be J Mac. I
Dude,
know
that
he's not
kick
good with his
save.
feet, but yeah, dude, he got a good save, and he hasn't been just
But,
good
but
this game. Last game we had a couple saves too.
But you know what? You know, what made me chuckle. By the way, like I said, I was listening to the game, and when you guys, he made that kick save. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The guy
Oh
from
yeah,
RSL, I can't remember who it was,
yeah.
came
It's a
in.
big save.
He fired the ball to the far post, and J Mac made the kick save, and Brian Dunseth is all like, "Oh, what a big kick save by John McCarthy, the Kelly Rudy kick save." Now, who the hell is Kelly Rudy? Unless you're like an old school LA Kings fan, you have no idea who the hell that is. But he was the LA Kings goalkeeper when they went to the first Stanley Cup way back in 1993, and yeah, he was a great goalkeeper. It's just that there in that era of the NHL, defense didn't exist. So this guy would face like 80,000 shots a game, and so the Kings would like give up like 4 goals. But that dude was busy all the time. But it just made me chuckle. I was like, yeah, the Kelly Rudy kick save. That is so random. What the hell did that come
No,
from?
I'm sure nobody got it.
Literally 1 out of 5 got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. I got it. I chuckled. I was like,
yeah.
So
I was like
I,
that ostrich. Ha ha.
I'm, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do double honorable mention. You can kiss my ass if you don't like it.
Boo.
What one has got to be as Vanny for what he did, right? Vanny, I think
Yeah, you should probably hit the
the
siren on that one, Chewy. Wah, 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 wah.
uh, to be to be bold enough to start to give the trust to someone like Lepley, who did not have a terrible game or a great game, but he held it down for what needed to be done. Close enough, I'll take it. And then to bring in Mark Delgado, right, to finish the game. It could have either gone 0-0 or as we all know, we won. But Mark Delgado was very, I think, crucial in adding that calmness and controlling that game and controlling that win. Maintaining that win. So that's Vanny right there. So shout out to Vanny. And then just real quick, Cerillo. Cerillo is just, dude, come on.
Man, he is
That's
so
it.
good, dude. I like him in that position.
You just like him because of his hair.
He's a better single pivot than what Brugman is, and you could actually play Ricky and fucking Fagundes at the same time with Sergio in there.
Yep,
I think.
maybe.
Did I give him my heart, man?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you went with
You.
McCarthy. Next.
No, I
No,
went
Brian
Gabriel
did. Brian
Peck.
did.
I went with McCarthy.
I'm kidding.
Nah, I said it was Gabriel Peck. He continues to do his thing, man. We're watching the guy just do amazing little things here and there. And yeah, with I don't think he has that level of freedom with a Ricky Puig pulling the strings. So hopefully, this is where I hope that Ricky Puig is sitting there watching his teammates do all these things, and he realizes what he has, what kind of tools he has at his disposal, and now he can come in there and with more confidence in his teammates and be like, okay, guys, instead of me carrying the ball all the way up the field, now I can be part of this offense and we can all eat. We can all sit at the table and we can all feast. Um, we have a $5 super chat from Adam. He
Hey,
asks, any thoughts on what game Ricky will return from his injury? He says, I feel it might be the Rose Bowl game or versus Minnesota at home. Thank you. Um, well, the next match is against the Chiefs. That's next Saturday, and after that comes the game against Levas. And yeah, it makes sense to rest him against the Smurfs. So when he comes back, he's fully healthy, and that'll be against LAFC. So that to me makes all the sense in the world. I don't know what you guys think.
You would probably give him some minutes in the San
San
Jose
Jose.
game, no?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
not start him, but maybe give him the last 15 to 20 just to get him
Poor Smurfs.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the other guys, he's just steamrolled through them, but in MLS, anything could happen. I mean, we just seen Cincinnati lose to the fake ass
New
Patriots.
England.
Or they New England fake ass Patriots. They just lost to the Revolution. So anything can happen in MLS. Hopefully, that's not the case this weekend against San Jose. I mean, next weekend. But I would like to see him play a few minutes against that team, just so he could get into the rhythm of the pace of MLS and competitive football, and not just in the training when they train. Because we already know playing against those noisy neighbors at the Rose Bowl are intense matches. So we'll see. Let's see. What are we gonna do right now? With the next
Yeah, we're
standing?
doing the awards,
Next.
man.
Next.
Hold on. We were doing honorable mention, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Willis.
Willis is left.
You said McCarthy too. All right, let's go.
I mean, close. Kind of. No, no. Honorable mention for me is honestly, it's gonna be Gabriel Peck for me. Two honorable mentions in a row, huh? Gabriel Peck just with the goal, he was running out there. The energy is just nonstop. It's nonstop, dude, and it just creates so much for everybody else. It creates so much. He's always coming back down, helping defend, goes back up, full speed. Man, the little SpongeBob don't stop, bro.
Mhm.
He does have a square ass head.
Hey, and we gotta give him some props for that no look pass too. You guys saw, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
for
about.
sure. Yeah,
He's like whoop,
the
whoop, whoop, pass to the right, looks to the
he,
left,
yeah, man.
little Magic Johnson action there.
He's getting he's definitely hitting his stride, and I like to see it.
Did you give yours, Eddie?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you gave
Since you
two.
Leo.
called my name.
You said Vanny
So-
and Vanny. Perfect.
Vanny
Since-
squared.
since-
Vanny squared.
Since you called my name, I'll just lead the way next standing, and I'll make it quick and
Hey,
easy
yo.
so I can get moving. Next standing is going to be Gabriel Peck, right? This guy, again, dangerous. Apple TV put their little stat like who's the fastest runner on the field, and it was you okay there, Brian? All right, cool. Stay with us. It was Peck, right? And this is off a short week, and the guy, what minute was that goal? The guy is so good. It's like we're watching him, and
74.
we know he's gonna cut. We know he's gonna cut left, and he gets people
Every time.
every time,
Every time.
every time.
Yeah.
And the guy just looked fresh, dude, all the way through to the end of the game. So, Gabriel Peck, man, if you would have hit, hit the ground running, if you would have got started a little sooner, we probably would have been talking MVP. But I think some other players around the league are kind of got a head start on that. So
Yeah,
maybe
True.
not this year, but we'll probably be talking MVP next year. Gabriel Peck if he keeps it up.
I would have to agree on that one. The kid is just on fire, and he's game after game turning into the player that the LA Galaxy actually play for. It. I know Eddie mentioned this earlier, and so yeah, magnificent young man, magnificent. Edgar,
Magnificent.
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 Um,
Damn, let's
Before we
go.
continue, want to address the question that we see posted up right there. Any thoughts on John Nelson's performance? Okay, let me tell you guys a funny story. Okay, uh, we have a good friend of the show, Matt Baker. He covers St. Louis City SC for Flyover Footy, and we've had him on. If you guys watched the midweek show, we did that whole bit with him and the St. Louis Blues and the LA Kings, where I called him Big Bird Baker, and he was like, "What the hell?" We had a good time with him. He's a really good guy. He keeps in touch. And I was literally still at the stadium, watching Galaxy versus NYCFC, and Johnny Nelson had just come on to the field, and I stopped to message him like, "Hey, Johnny Nelson just came out of the field. This guy just comes in and he puts in work." And then he responded to me like literally seconds later saying, "Edgar, I was just literally about to write to you how disappointing it is for me as a St. Louis fan to come home from our guys getting their asses kicked, and I sit down and watch the game, and I see Johnny Nelson coming in to play for you guys, and he does a great job." And he's like, "We miss him so much." And he's one of those guys that comes in, he just quietly does his job, no nonsense, blue collar mentality. Got no complaints at all from me regarding him. He just does his job. He just does his job. Solid player.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thoughts?
me too. In the beginning, really didn't know about him, and I had my doubts about him. But yeah, like Edgar said, man, he just clocks in, clocks out, bro. You know he's gonna put in a shift when you put him in. You know he's gonna be a professional and does the job. That's all you can ask for somebody coming off the bench, a depth player. You just want him to perform and not mess up, and that's what he does.
100%. Um, I think that this is it for this part of the segment,
Wait,
but we do have some
next
questions.
standing.
The next standing. Oh, we do have next standing.
Yeah,
Oh shit. Well,
yeah.
we just sent
I,
Gary Peck,
I
didn't we?
only I went.
Yeah, Gary Peck.
Anyway,
I agree.
Me and Brian went. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, and
we're asking
Edgar.
you, Edgar.
Oh, I said Edwin Cerrillo, and it's interesting because you look at a site like Who Scored, and they have him as a 6.5, and I'm like, no, 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 no. He's such an important part of this team, and we're seeing it happen more and more as time is passing. We're talking about how we're watching Ricky Puig evolve right over time, and how we're watching his maturation process, whether it's to trial and error, but we see his skills getting better. We're watching Edwin Cerrillo come in and week out, and we're watching this guy improve by leaps and bounds every week. And he's becoming an indispensable part of this team, and one of the guys that you can look forward to and be like, damn, we have a lot of depth on this squad, more than we had a year ago, definitely. And this season, it's so important because one of the hallmarks of championship teams is how deep they are. Where if somebody goes down, somebody else will step up when they need them the most and do something important. And this is somebody like an Edwin Cerrillo. And I think that the contributions that he made in this game go beyond stats. I think the way he handles himself, the way he moves the ball around, his eye, he's the guy who pretty much sparked the play that led to the goal. So yeah,
Yeah, that's beautiful. What is it? You gave yours?
No, not yet. Mine is gonna be a little bit different, just because he came in a crunch. Probably was not expected to play, and he did really well. I'm going to give it to Jaden Neal. Jaden Neal came in for Cáceres, held it down in the backfield. You know, had great recovering speed, and going up against Anderson Julio, who demolishes defenders left and right. That speed is ridiculous. And he had a couple chances where if Neal was not there to bug him and had that recovery speed, he probably would have scored. He had that 1-on-1 with J Mac, and because of Jaden Neal's recovery speed, bugged him enough to where he wasn't comfortable and ended up making a bad shot. So for me, I think Jaden Neal and It's just a quick little mention that Cedillo also for me was phenomenal. So
Yep.
Sorry, Willis. I no, I will not allow it. Casares came in and did the dirty work. He made he
well,
made JJ's job
ironically, I
easy.
wanted to give it to Cáceres, but I felt that the injury maybe did not call for that. I wanted to give it to Cáceres,
Trip,
honestly, but
triple honorable mention.
I wanted to, but I didn't know if anybody was gonna get mad at me for it. So
Nah, we're good.
Nah, we good. Full course. No. All right, let's get to these questions. Uh, Adam DC 25 on Instagram. Complete game, in my opinion, although some may say it wasn't, or they didn't have Orango as an excuse. I mean, they didn't have Orango. That's kind of an excuse. He would have murked us in all those open chances that RSL had. Then,
yeah, probably most likely.
but he wasn't there, so you got to play with who you got. Whoever's on the pitch,
Shout out to
Exactly.
you got to
Casares.
perform.
We didn't have Poosh. We didn't have
Pretty
Bruin.
much.
Stay in Trucha. Does Sanford sell beer now? I don't think so.
No.
Stanford, I don't think so.
They stay dry. Canada dry.
Logan Jones, 01. Where should we spend our max TAM spot in our last U22 spot? I kind
Ooh.
of don't want Royce. I kind of don't either. But
Hmm.
an experienced player would have definitely been beneficial in this RSL game. But also, a youth player would have been as well. Not sure where they go. I just know that I'm trusting this front office to actually make the right move and have us be more competitive.
So
You guys
where
agree?
do you spend that time then?
I gotta do my
Royce.
homework.
I for me, I think you maybe go out and get somebody like Billy Sharp.
no shit.
Somebody like Billy Sharp, veteran that can come off the bench for Jovic because Barry ain't it. Barry ain't it.
Yeah.
If it ain't Rails, I think that's the best viable option.
If it's not Royce, Eddie, who would you bring in?
I'm gonna go with Willis. You gotta find that Billy Sharp type. Burying it. All right, knock on wood. Dayon could go down, and all of a sudden you're looking at Barry staying. Starting every game. Despite how I feel about Dayon, Barry's not a better option.
Well, good thing Robert Lewandowski's coming in 2025, so you gotta wait a whole year. Alex Gutierrez, who's gonna be back first, the Galaxy or the McRib?
Wow.
Well, according to Eddie with Fagundes on the field, the Galaxy's back, baby.
Shout out to Guti. No, they're not back.
They're not. They're not
Nah, they're not back. But to answer this question, my money's on the McRib. I think we're a season and a couple signings away from being back.
You guys want
Damn,
my take on
bro.
that real quick?
I bet.
Because
Yeah.
I was thinking about that this weekend. I was like, are
The
we back?
McRib? Oh.
No, but RSL. I was thinking about that after the RSL win, and I was like, well, they were missing Chicho, obviously. So, but are we back? Are we back? And in order to really fully answer that question, we need this team to have two good performances over the next two matches, and then you could say, okay, yeah, they're back. Because
Start the conversation.
if they can
Yeah.
defeat San Jose without playing down to their level, and if they could put up a good, strong performance against LAFC at the Rose Bowl,
A
and
win.
not
It has to be a
and
win.
not yeah, it has to be a win. I mean, there's no room for a letdown in that game because things are so tight in that Western
Yeah.
Conference right now. These are the games that are going to decide who's going to end up getting that bye into the next round. So they have to win this game. If they can do that, then we could say, hey, look, Vanny's on a 5-game winning streak. They just took care of the two biggest rivals in the
Yep.
Smurfs and in Leva.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we can say we are back, and hopefully they can carry that confidence towards the end of the season. Screw Leagues Cup. I'm thinking,
Yeah,
the
facts.
rest of the season. But yeah, that's the good that's when we could really look at it and back that up with facts instead of just a gut feeling. Are we back? Are we back? Bro, no.
Yeah.
Look, here's the results. Let's look at our resume and back it up.
I also want to say to add on to that, let's say the LA Galaxy does go on this 5 game winning streak. That's more credit towards Vanny, and uh, that's what it looks like when you win a championship, right? You got to
By the
win
way,
at least 4, 5 in a row to get to the promised land and win the whole thing. So if you get
by the way,
these 5, then yeah, go ahead, Edgar.
there's one thing we haven't said that definitely needs credit in all this. We keep saying Vanny, we keep saying the players. How about we mention the man who showed up to hang out with supporters before the
Coons,
NYC
baby.
game, who came and rubbed elbows. Everyone took photos, was there high fiving people, kissing babies. We're talking about Will Kuntz, baby.
Yeah,
Will Kuntz.
all this has been possible
He's the
because of him.
mastermind. He's the
He comes
mastermind
in,
behind all this.
and the LA Galaxy is top 3 right now.
Yeah,
It's
even the
tied first.
guys in the Colorado Rapids Twitter space last night were talking about him. They're like, "Wow, the guy who has orchestrated all of this is Will Kuntz. You got to give him his props."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to, and I think everybody here in at News Across the Galaxy have given his props. I think we're all really comfortable with this front office and
Yep.
the work they've been doing. So,
So just
shout
say
out.
it. Just say that we're back then. No,
Just like
I'll
uh,
Matthew
make
says, "Hey, Big Will Kuntz, baby."
I'll make a deal
Big
with you.
Willie Coons.
McRib is back.
When Eddie and Edgar say they're back, then I'll consider squashing my beat with McCarthy. Bam! How about that?
couple more
Hot
year
tour.
seasons.
Hot tour.
Whoa.
Hot tour.
But that's how you got pregnant, huh? The hot tour. Damn.
I can't believe that's been such
You
a
know
meme.
what?
That is great.
That is
I
such a
love that.
strange meme, dude.
It's great. I love
Long
it.
live the internet.
Ayo.
Live the internet. Uh, Tony8314. Shout out to my center back pairing partner. Now that the
Primo.
G's finally got 3 wins in a row, can they make it 4 wins against San Jose?
Ooh.
5 at the Rose Bowl? We kind of touched on that.
Yep.
It's a very tough task to ask this team to go 5 in a row. I mean, 3 in a row was already hard as it is. 5? I mean, the next opponent is the worst team in the West, but like I said,
Rivalry.
anything can happen in MLS, and
Yeah.
they also show up for these type of games. It's not like they're gonna
Always.
just lay down and
Well, they
take
didn't
it.
show up last night against LAFC, man.
But that's not their
LAFC
actual
came in
rival. That we're their
they
actual
came in there
rival.
like the LFC went in there like the Smurf village, and they stomped over that, and they had Smurf berries for dinner, man.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember.
Yeah.
To
I remember.
just to not to answer that question, but just to shed some light on it, and to answer a previous question, yes, we have a midweek preview lined up. Hopefully, yeah, he should be available. Our good friend Saz, he covers San Jose Earthquakes, and once we have him like confirmed, I'll put up on Twitter and Instagram that yes, we're gonna have him do the midweek. If you guys have any questions for him regarding the Earthquakes and their horrible, horrible season that they're having, shoot them our way, and we'll be sure to ask him. But yeah, look for that. Yeah, on Thursday morning, hopefully.
Nothing too crazy, please. Nothing too crazy.
Please be nice.
Be
He's a
respectful.
cool guy.
Yes.
And
He's a nice guy.
Tony again, he's asking updates on the NAG Fantasy League. I got you. In first place, is it you, Willis, the impeccable 11? Man,
Got your
I'm
belt
going
in
off.
hand?
It's always me, baby. You already know.
And of
You
course,
got your belt handy there?
This is the defending champ. You guys are
Actually,
hating and don't want to
I-
send me my fucking belt.
I actually still have it.
There you go.
It's in my
Yeah.
truck. At number 2, Chef Poops. That is me.
Hey yo, we rigged this shit.
I rigged this shit. All right, Willis, let me win. At number 3, Spenny P.
Hey
At
yo.
number 4, my peck is Paintsill. That's a good one.
Hi.
At number
Is that
is that
Eddie?
you?
That's me.
Is that you? At number 5, Busted Balls. Edgar, is that you? No.
This year, I missed the bus, dude. So
Ah.
yeah, I'm just watching you guys like that.
Oh, boo. At number 6, Karofsky's, what is it? Karofsky's assistant? Accountants. These are very
What?
creative names. Karofsky's accountant.
Yeah, like half of them sound like they're made up by 12-year-olds though.
So what?
Whoa. Who cares?
Cares?
Yeah. Number
Oh, Tony's
7.
busted balls.
Ah. And number 7. No, wait. Was that number 7? Number 7, the Disney Plus. And number 8, our good friend David Godino, Godino Art, is in last place. So that is your standings for the for the NAG fantasy MLS soccer stuff, whatever. I'm coming for that championship belt, Willis. Let me tell
Yeah,
you, brother.
there was a question in the chat asking any thoughts on how bad Minnesota is playing the last 3 games. I haven't really talked to our Minnesota friends, but yeah, looking at it, it's weird because you would think maybe they're playing better quality opponents, but no, that they dropped one to Dallas, who's doing bad right now. They dropped one to Seattle, who's doing bad right now. They're just in a bad funk. It happens to some teams. I mean, at one point they were fighting for that top spot in the West, but it just shows you how tough the West is. And let me ask you guys this question because I listen a lot to the Atlanta pod, I listen to the Charlotte guys, and even the guys in Philly, and they're always pounding their chests about how strong the Eastern Conference is, how much stronger the Eastern Conference is than the West. Do you guys feel that the Eastern Conference is stronger than the Western Conference, or do you think that this is all a mirage?
Ask
I
New
don't feel
York
that way.
City.
Yo,
There's your
I
answer.
think so many people are saying the same thing. A lot of the MLS analysts say the same thing. And for me, I feel the West is definitely stronger this year. You can tell by the tight race that's between 1 and 4 right now. Between 1 and 3, we're all tied in points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
if you
in
look
the
what
East, it's basically a race of 3. In the West, everybody beats up on each other. So for me, I feel the West is stronger, but I'm a little
yeah,
biased because
same. But I think the East is a little top heavy. It'd be easier for us to tell you if fucking Apple didn't stack the games on top of each other, and we could take a look for ourselves.
that's true.
Those are facts.
Freaking
Come
Apple.
on, Apple, get it together. Yeah, we got 2 more questions on Instagram from Staying Trucha. The way the team has been playing, would we want Ricky to start for the Rose Bowl game?
Absolutely.
Well, Willis, would you want Ricky to start for the Rose Bowl
You
game?
need him to start for that game.
Yeah.
Even if
That's
you
gay.
just start him and you take him out in the 65th minute and bring in Fagundes. But you need it because he is the difference maker in that game. He's been the difference maker in that game for the last 2 years.
Edgar, Eddie?
You got to start him.
Eddie?
I go ahead, Eddie. You go first.
I don't know. It's a short week. I'm gonna say. Well, hold on. I'm gonna say no because we're only looking at 2 games. That potentially can play a role in coming back from injury. So I'm gonna say no for those reasons mainly. Again, like I said, if he buys in, he's more talented, and there's no reason why you wouldn't start him. But I just think the way the team is playing, it's kind of fucked up or I don't think it's too smart to tamper with it with a player that's just not match fit. So I'm gonna say no mainly for those reasons.
Edgar?
I'd like to see him get some minutes against San Jose just to see where his head at, because before making a definitive answer on whether or not Ricky is going to be part of this new Galaxy offense, I'd like to see him get some minutes against San Jose, a team that, hey, if Galaxy puts up a good lead, bring him in and see how you can experiment with him in there and see where, like I said, where his head at. Is he going to go in there and just keep doing the same thing he's been doing all along? Or are we going to see a Ricky Pooge that will be like, hey, where do I fit in the scheme? And how can I improve my teammates and improve the team overall? And then if it really works out and if it looks great, then unleash him against LAFC and see where he goes. Because, he showed up for that game last year and he's always trying a little bit harder against those guys. So let's see it. Let's see it
Yeah.
happen again this year. But
Yeah.
it all depends on whether or not he's willing to be part of the offense.
Arped Raza 83. Is San Jose a trap game?
Oof.
No, they're a
I
mess, dude.
actually had that. I had that thought in my head too.
Go
It's
ahead,
just
Eddie.
like
Go ahead.
it's. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they're that bad. But a wounded animal is always scary, right? They just took a fucking ass whooping, So I'm gonna say no, but it's a little scary. I think we're gonna know. I think we're gonna know right away because now it's a week's rest. I think in the first
True.
5-10 minutes into the game, we're like, all right, yeah, no problem. We're just gonna either wipe the floor with them, or the longer it goes without us either taking control of the game or putting one in, then we started to get a little worried because it is to a lot of people there. It's their marquee match. They have nothing else to play for this season. Their season is pretty much a wash. Uh, that's selling it, right? Because I don't believe it. I don't think it's a trap game, and like I said, I think we'll know right away. So that's the best answer I can give you.
Look at that. Eddie's looking like one of those '70s cartoons, like that barely moves, and you just hear the voice. You know what I'm talking
Lovely.
about. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah. I don't
uh,
know.
by the way, that game against the Smurfs, man. I know you. It's hard to feel sorry for a team that has terrorized you so much in the past, but I kind of feel sorry for the franchise as a whole because when you bring up the fact that their owner is John Fisher, the same guy who moved the Oakland A's out of Oakland, and is it's a fucking disaster with the whole moving them out of Oakland to Vegas because they really don't have a stadium in Vegas and it hasn't been approved. And so he's trying to have them play in Sacramento in some small little rinky dink stadium that isn't fit for Major League Baseball. And then this guy's the owner of the Earthquakes. We asked Saz, the guy who covers the Earthquakes earlier season, are you afraid that maybe he might move the Quakes away? Because this has happened before to them, right? They moved to Houston.
Houston, yeah.
No, he's like he invested in a training facility for them. I don't see that happening, but these people that have all this money, how easy it is it for them to invest in real estate and then flip it and sell it to somebody else, right? And they could be like, "Boop, I made some money off of this, and now I'm gonna take my team and move them somewhere else where they'll give me extra value for whatever reason." And I can see that happening. Unfortunately, um, this came up in the conversation last. I keep bringing this up. The conversation that the Rapids podcast was having because they were talking about not just Rapids, they were talking about all of MLS, and they were saying like the Quakes are one of those teams that once Major League Soccer finally reaches that last expansion team, right, where there's not going to be any more expansion teams. So at that point, is John Fisher going to be like, "Hey, I'm going to sell my team. How much are you willing to give me?"
Hmm.
And they sell for a lot of money, obviously. So um, you might end up seeing the Quakes move to places like I think Louisville, for example, which has a really strong USL team, or Pittsburgh. Have you guys ever heard of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds? They have a great following. This might happen. These are two markets where MLS hasn't gone, and it might happen to the Earthquakes. So enjoy the fact that the Earthquakes are there. I feel sorry for them because they have a shitty, horrible owner, and damn, man, you can see how bad they are now. It
Yeah.
sucks.
So that's especially for the fans, right? If I was in that position, I'd be more than depressed. I mean, I was a Clipper for a long time, and now they're all right. Still no championships, but better than before. We got a super chat from Rock RDA, $1.99. Why is it FO so nonchalant about not upgrading Barry? I don't think it's that. I think it's them trying to find the right piece for this team and what this team needs. Also, we need to get you that was it a bobblehead, Eddie, that he won because you guys took a magnificent picture with Cosmo the other day?
Yeah, yeah.
We still need to get that out to you. So
We'll
yeah,
get that to you.
we'll
But
we'll think on something. Yeah, go ahead, Eddie.
yeah, it's what Brian said though. It's not the same front office. So the right guy is either not there yet or they're looking at somebody in the summer. So I
Yeah,
think it's just a more patient and there's a front office and they understand there's still a lot of season to play. So
yeah,
that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Before I forget, there's something I wanted to mention about the people that travel to RSL. Um, one of the guys that watches our show, Mitch. I don't want to butcher his last name, so I'm not going to say it. But Mitch, he tagged me on a photo that he had put up a nag sticker somewhere in Salt Lake City. I think it's inside the
Oh,
stadium or
nice.
somewhere around the premises. And he's
Beautiful.
like, "Yeah, Nag's up in Salt Lake City," and I'm like, "Yeah, that went better than the last time Nag was up in Salt Lake City for sure."
Oh yeah,
A lot better.
way better. That does it for the questions. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions. We truly appreciate you. All right, boys, we come to the end, but before we leave, we have a very special announcement. Eddie, the floor is yours, sir.
Sure. So sorry for the laggy internet. I know this is like kind of hard to follow, but yes. So you guys may have noticed, I had taken a hiatus from NAG for some time, right? There was a basically a change in lifestyle that I had to make. That some of us have to make at times, and it's hard to really like admit these issues or talk about these issues, and then sometimes you have to step away from your certain environments, and that means stepping away from certain things you love, like the galaxy, right? So my issue was basically with alcohol, and I decided to do something about it. And I came to find out that it's like I said, it was difficult to miss out, feeling like you're missing out in certain things, right? Like I was not there at the games for drinking, but I knew, or not knew, but felt like it wouldn't be the safest place or the best place for me to be. So I had to make that hard choice to step away from there, and it was a little hard to do the pod while not going, and just basically focus on myself. Um, so I've just it's one of the best decisions I made, right? To go find certain help, and and take certain steps to deal with this issue. And in that, I found an amazing community, and something that is just so great. And it's you've heard me talk about how important mental health is to me, and this month is also men's mental health. Um, because it's an amazing thing, and it's an amazing gift that I wish I can share with just everyone, anyone. Like it's been 4 months since I've started my journey, and just mentally and spiritually and physically, I feel better than I have in well over a decade. And my way of trying to give back and trying to share this gift with me is creating a community. Right, this is not a supporter group. That's something I do want to make clear. This is not a supporter group. This is basically a group and a community of like-minded Galaxy fans, right? And I'm really opening it to not just Galaxy fans that don't want to drink, right, or that don't drink or have been part of a program. It does. That's not a requirement. It's open to everyone. It's safe for everyone. Um, it's basically a no pressure, no non-drinking space, and it's something that's still in the works, and we're trying to figure out. Obviously, there are obstacles, there are tricky things that we're gonna figure out. It's obviously everywhere, but I'm hoping to be able to connect uh, like-minded Galaxy fans and other fans that may be looking for help in that, or that want to enjoy this game without having feeling like they have to drink, right? And I'm hoping that I find people that open up, because I'll be open to anyone that has any questions or wants to know anything about my journey. You could DM me, and I'm completely open about it, because like I said, it's something amazing that I wish I can just share with everyone, but it's not really possible without you seeking it and wanting it for yourself. There is a Twitter. It's Sabria.
We lost him.
Damn it.
The at
Oh,
is Sobriety G. As soon as he comes back, he'll explain more on that. But I think that's a good start. Um, and it's a beautiful step that he's taking. And of course, the Nag Boys are here to support everything that Eddie does, especially through this journey that he's going through. It's a tough journey, and you know, um, we're here for him. And hopefully, we get him back on, and he can talk more about it. But in the meantime, you guys want to tell some jokes?
My God.
Edgar, I know you got some
Nah,
good jokes. Dad joke me, baby.
nah. I just wanted to
Hit me with
follow
that
up on what
joke.
Eddie said.
Yeah.
I just want to say how it takes a lot of courage to make such a change in your life, because it's very easy for human beings to fall into a certain routine and be used to doing things a certain way, and before you know it, you might not realize it, but maybe you're stuck in a bad routine that's going to erode your life and take you down a really dark path. But to have the courage to try to change your life and redirect it into a more positive path, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Yeah, I applaud the fact that Eddie is doing this for himself. If I always encourage people to take care of themselves and whichever way possible it's important for them. Anyway, Eddie's back, so we can give the floor back to him. But yeah, Eddie, hey man, I was saying I'm really proud of you for doing this. I know it takes a lot of courage to do this kind of stuff. So more props to you, man.
Thank you. No, I really appreciate that. Where did I leave off? What's the last thing I
So
You
said?
were
You're giving away
Twitter
the
tag.
mentioning
Twitter
the
I was
X
account.
like,
account.
okay, yeah. So for now, it's only Twitter. We'll be bringing up an Instagram hopefully shortly. And again, it's open to everyone. It's not a supporter group, but I think mainly the way it's going to start is more like a tailgate type thing, like tailgate, safe tailgate. Get to know people that are like minded or been through it. I won't give names because it's up to them to come forward. But there's people that went through some similar journeys that I did within the Galaxy community, and didn't have this opportunity, and I just wanted to be easier, right? Because I know how scary and how hard it is to make that first step. And one thing I'll tell you is like, and one thing I'll share is like one thing that bothered me was everybody's attitude, like laughing and having a good time. And like, what the fuck? Why is everyone doing this? But it's because your life's not over, right? It's the contrary. It's something special, and I'm hoping to show people that it's not, and then it's a normal. You're not alone. Uh, there's plenty of people and within our own community in the galaxy, right? And the response has been overwhelming. Like it's awesome to see how many people have shared and followed. I think we're close to hitting 100 followers, and it's been what, less than 12 hours, maybe. Like that's that's awesome. It's awesome to see that there's so much backing, and with that, to be honest, I'm looking to work with the supporter groups and with the Galaxy. Hopefully, I've been in contact with them. We have, again, there's still details to be ironed out, but the main thing is a safe environment too, right? And with that, it's gonna be zero tolerance, right? You don't have to support it. That's okay, but don't come into to either the social media or in person and mock or just clown or do anything, because it is going to be zero tolerance. It's going to be blocked here, and I'm going to figure out other ways to make sure things don't happen, because it's meant to be safe, and everyone should be able to enjoy this club that we all love. And again, you can DM me, follow it on Twitter. For now, if you don't have Twitter, stay tuned. We'll put that up, and hopefully, we can figure something out for the 4th of July. That's not our home stadium, so it's a little tricky. And I think I got pretty much all of it. If you have any questions, shoot it to Nag, shoot it to me, and hopefully we can answer. Oh, last thing, yeah, like I said, it's not. I'll repeat again. It's not a supporter group. There is no leader, right? I'm starting this group, but I'm not a leader of this group. this is just a community for everyone to meet and rub elbows with people with the same mindset. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And as we get more details, we'll be putting them out.
Beautiful, beautiful. Being part of this G's community extends to so many corners of every walk of life, and that's a beautiful step. I'm proud of you, bro. Anyway, um,
Um,
something else.
oh,
Hold on.
there's something I wanted to mention real quick before I
Yeah, go for it.
forgot because it was really cool. Just changing gears a little. At the New York City FC game, I was spent the second half in the Victoria block, and I was right in the middle of the Victoria block. I was hanging out with Eli and a few other fans, and out of nowhere, there was like a murmur in the crowd, and I look up, and Julian Araujo was there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, we did forget about that.
Julian came down to hang out with the fans and to lead, some of the chants, and that was out of nowhere. And this guy was next to me. He was his first ever Galaxy game, and he's like, "Who's him?" I was like, "He's a former player who's now is playing for Barcelona, and he just probably got called up to the first team, and there's a good chance that he might be playing for Barcelona, one of the most popular teams in the world." So we're like, where everybody's really proud of him, and he's the fact that he came down there to rub elbows with the fans. He's one of us, right?
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
positive things, man. Positive vibes out there, and let's keep it going for the rest of the week, man.
Yes, and that is a great way to end the show on a positive note. Everybody's positive. 3 points are positive. 3 wins in a row are positive.
Let's go
Gabriel
bye,
Peck.
baby.
Gabriel Peck is a positive. No
Eddie making
Ricky
it to the
is
rest of the
not a
show while crashing again is a positive.
ah.
Well, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
The Galaxy's back is
Aha!
positive. No, I'm just playing. And that
Oh,
does it
then
for
I'll
us.
back it.
That does it for us here at News Across the Galaxy. Willis, where can the people find you, Sir Dad?
I am on Instagram as well. I am a realtor. Eddie.
Yes.
Me? Oh, sweet. Should have gone first while my internet was still good. As always, you can find me at Eddie Nags, only on Twitter right now. Always Twitter, like Edgar says. Fuck X, and X won't give it to you. Anyways, but most importantly, let's make Sobriety G happen. Even if
Yeah.
you're not looking for that, it's not for you, right? If it's not for you, it's okay. Just share it. You never know. You never know
It's gonna
who
be for
who
somebody.
needs it. Yeah, it'll be for somebody. I promise you that. Sobriety G, SOBRIE_G. Right?
Edgar. Edgar. Go for it, dude.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, man? You guys can find me on Twitter, never the X. Um, well, I like the X, never the X. Anyway, you guys can find me as Edgar Nags, or simply just NA_GS on Twitter and Edgar Nags on Instagram.
There it is.
Willis?
Willis said
All
already.
right.
My turn. My turn. You can find me as Bryant Nags on Instagram and X/Twitter. You'll probably find me in San Jose on the bus. You'll probably
Ooh.
find me at the Rose Bowl, but you won't find me next week on July 6th because I'll be camping like a good Samaritan, hunting bears. I'm just kidding. I don't hunt bears. That does it for us here at News Across the Galaxy. Thank you for everybody.
Hey.
Oh yeah,
Travis
Chuyazo. Chuyazo. I forget.
Haha,
Yeah,
Travis.
Yeah. The most important part, bro.
Chavez, huh?
Yeah, you guys can find me as Chavez JA, Chavez Ha on all my social media. It's pretty easy, pretty simple.
Hell yeah, Chuyazo, you're the man. Thank you, everybody. And as always, keep on nagging. Edgar, what is for life?
Wu-Tang for life, baby.
Wu-Tang for life, baby.
Keep on nagging.
My mid-